Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda, and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How's everybody doing? I hope you guys have enjoyed following along. We are now into season 4. We just did episodes 1 and 2 in our last podcast, and we're moving on to 3 and 4. And I just want to thank all of you out there for continuing to like and subscribe and share and repost all of those Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, reels and shorts and all the things that they call them. So thank you so much.
On the World Wide Web.
That's right. Out on the World Wide Web. At least this time I didn't call it, the TikToks.
That was great.
But,
yeah.
We really appreciate all your support and just continue sharing this stuff. And if you could, again, share this podcast with just one friend, we would really, really appreciate it. Yeah.
You guys know those people in your life who are also Friends fans. If you are one yourself, you have someone I'm sure that you talk about those episodes with. Or, Friends isn't your thing, then we also have our Stranger Things episodes we're putting out. And pretty soon we might start taking requests on, hey, does anyone have any reruns that they've really loved? Maybe we've also had the same experience and we could rerun those episodes.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of potential down the in our future here, and we're looking to.
We've discussed a lot of options for the future. So at any point in time, if you guys have suggestions or shows you'd like to hear about, we can certainly factor those in at any point in time.
Yeah, for sure. But just to recap where we're at in Friends now, in our last episode, we had Ross having a hard time taking responsibility for relationship issues with Rachel. Phoebe was struggling to connect with her birth mom. Monica got stung by a jellyfish. Chandler and Joey were trying to sell their entertainment center, but end up getting robbed. And Phoebe was believing that her birth mom, her spirit was in a cat. Monica was going on a date with Rachel's high school boyfriend, Chip Matthews. So we're kind of all over the place, but I feel like it's centered a lot around, Ross still having a hard time with their relationship ending because they were on a break, right? So.
They were on a break. I'm still thinking back to the last episode that we did, and knowing that season 4 episode 1 got an 8.9 on the IMDb scale, which has been the highest that we've seen for quite some time. But both Amanda and I had rated it the highest episode, and I'm trying to figure out what in that episode pulled it back from being the highest episode. And the only thing I can come up with is like the Phoebe birth mother storyline. Like, is that a weak enough moment to pull it back?
No, and that would be ridiculous because, first of all, you had to address that because that was a central part of the storyline in the previous episode with the close of season 3.
No, but
that was the whole reason why they were even on the beach.
That's less my point. Like, is that story something that the Friends fans that have voted cared less about? Because I know, for example, going back, I gave some pretty high ratings to these ones with the Joey in the play story.
Yeah.
And I do believe I'm on more of an island with that. I loved that story because I loved the end punchline of getting on the spaceship. But I do think that I might be more alone on that. So maybe I gave this a very high rating. You gave it an incredibly high rating. And it's the Phoebe section that pulls it back? Because I don't think it can be the Ross and Rachel section. I don't think it's the jellyfish section.
Well, no, and I guess that's what I was trying to say, though, is that I just have a hard time believing that it pulled it back because, well, first of all, it took up, the least amount of time in the episode.
I know.
It was very brief. And Phoebe was really funny, and, especially in the first portion where, she's talking about her relationship, how she was abandoned by her, by her mom
Yeah.
and,
Maybe it
Lily.
was the...
I don't know. I just
Maybe it was,
find it weird.
It was the Rachel stuff at the beginning then, too. Like, Rachel's
think
acting
people are
weird
just-
throughout that episode. Like, very manipulative, as you were saying.
But it was hilarious.
I thought it was
I
funny.
mean, yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, we move on. And so we are now at season 4, episode 3, The One with the Cuffs, which, by the way, I thought was a title for a different episode. I thought was for the one where they found the handcuffs in the closet. And that is much later. You remember that?
Oh, yes, where Rachel's like moving out, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that when?
But
Yeah.
that's what
so
I thought
funny
of
that
when I saw this title.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
the one with the cuffs is where Chandler starts dating Rachel's boss, Joanna, again, and ends up in a very compromising position in Rachel's workplace. Monica is hired by her mother for a dinner party and almost pulls a Monica, but instead she pulls a Monica. Joey settles on buying a new encyclopedia because he happens to be wearing Chandler's pants. And that synopsis was kind of very laden in hope you saw this episode because a lot of those things just happened to go along the way. But let's start with Joanna. Okay. The Joanna Chandler side to this story is definitely something. This is the one, by the way, that starts off with what you had mentioned in our last podcast episode, where Joey finds the porch furniture from Treeger and pulls it up, and Chandler mentions, "Could we be more white trash?"
Yes.
Because they now have a canoe and rusted porch furniture and a duck and a chicken walking around.
It's a look. Yeah.
It is certainly a look. But
they're doing what they can. They're surviving, so.
But when Rachel comes over, all of a sudden, Joanna walks out of the bathroom and has been hanging out with Chandler again. And Rachel is not happy about it.
Yeah, they ran into each other and now they've started things back up. And, when they get to the office, though, that's really where things get good with this storyline, obviously, where... Joanna has to leave to meet up with her boss, who ends up handcuffing Chandler to her chair, saying, "Oh, I'll be right back." Well, she's not right back. And, of course, Rachel, who knows where a key is hidden, because I guess, Mark's name comes back up. He had given it to her, or he had told her where it was. I forget which one, but I think he might have handed it off to her before he left. Either way, she busts into Joanna's office only to see Chandler sitting there. His reaction, "And how are you?" I love it when he says that.
I mean...
And I especially love when he pages her, too, when he's stuck to the chair and he's like, "Rachel, would you come in here?" Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the funnier parts of this whole thing. When Joanna calls, Chandler answers the phone, and she has to tell him, "Hey, I'm not going to be there for a few hours." Now Chandler's stuck, handcuffed in her room for hours and can't get out. And so he pages Rachel on the phone. She comes in. "Rachel, will you please come in here?" She's furious that he's in there, goes in, and, well, this is where the chaos ensues.
Yes, yeah. Because she agrees to help him out, but then quickly realizes after she unlocks him that, oh wait, how am I going to explain this to Joanna, right? And, I mean, Joanna doesn't know that she has the key, and the whole reason that they were even going in there in the first place was to try to find what their bonuses were going to be, and just happened to find Chandler, so... Yeah, I don't know.
I still
he could
feel
have
like
explained that he busted out of them or something. He could come up with it.
Rachel could have been in the clear. Like, the handcuffs were on the handcuff keys were on the door.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it would have been easy for Chandler to get them off by himself, but there could have been a situation where he could have fashioned a device to get them knocked down and somehow uncuff himself and leave without Rachel being in the know. That they could have just worked that out. But instead, we don't.
And her solution to then handcuffing him to the filing cabinet, though, after she agrees to let him go, it's like, how is this helping at all? Which he quickly points out. But Eric, what do you think about the scene where he's handcuffed to the filing cabinet and then he quickly opens it? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's a blooper. That wasn't even written into the script.
So I have seen a number of reels on Instagram or YouTube or wherever that imply that this is a mistake.
Yes.
And I understand because of Jennifer Aniston's reaction, Rachel's reaction, where she's like got her hands over her face. But I was watching this scene specifically for this, right?
Yep.
I don't believe it's a blooper. I think people want to think it's a blooper, or people have maybe made reels that go, look at this blooper, and it's not really a blooper. And it's just something that was in the design. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you watch it back, Chandler has got his hand pinned to that filing cabinet. It doesn't have to be there. He's got some give with the handcuffs, but he's got it on the door. Right?
Oh.
And they open the door, and she's like, Sophie, help! And he's still got his hand locked on the door.
Yeah.
And like they're talking, and he is still keeping pressure on the door.
Okay.
And then as he starts to talk, he pulls his thing forward,
pulling it out.
and he gets himself in the back of the head. I just don't believe that is by happenstance.
Yeah,
I think
I'm trying to remember, Eric, where I even originally heard that. It must have.
Well,
I couldn't remember if it was from an official Friends blooper, like from the Friends DVD.
No,
or if
no,
that
was
was something that I read online or saw in a video.
That's always been in the episode. But Tina, my wife, also said the same thing because she's seen these things. Like, did you know that was supposed to be a blooper? And I'm like, I don't think it is. If you watch back, I think he is purposely holding his hand on it.
Eric, I'm not saying it wasn't on the original video. I'm just saying I think that maybe on, like, there's extras on the DVDs. And I'm wondering if I learned that in an official extra where it's like, hey, this was actually not even intended to be in the original cut, that it just happened organically. And that's why Rachel, and then they left it in because it was so funny. And that
my only reason for saying that I don't believe so is because his hand is on the door.
Like he almost
clearly holding. Like if he pulled it out a little bit, like now the door is going to move back and forth with him because it's unlocked.
I don't know. Whoever is out there listening, what do you guys
I
think?
just don't believe. I think this is one of those things that people have put out there to gain views on their Instagrams and stuff, like, look at this crazy thing that I found. And it's not.
But the fact that
now people are believing it
was pointing that out too makes me think that it was because Tina.
Listen, she's a Friends professional. That's not a joke. I will say that she said to me, and I'll keep some of this under wraps for the next few. But but I know you've said that seasons 3 and 4, like, this is your wheelhouse.
Well, 4 and 5. 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Tina has explicitly explained to me why she hates season 4.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to hear about that later.
We'll get into the debate
have to
as
get
we
into
go.
Wow. You might need to come prepared with like a bullet point, or unless
I'll try and get some notes as we go. But yeah, she's not a fan, and she lays out a very good argument for why she's not a fan, and we'll see. We'll see how we go. But anyway, I love, but I whether it's a blooper or not, it's a great moment in the episode, and it is probably the only moment in this episode that I truly enjoy.
So I also do love the line from Monica to Ross at the beginning of this, where she's talking about she got the catering job from her mom, and Ross is like, it's okay. You know, he's basically just sticking up for the mom, and which is what Monica points out, is that she's like, you know, you don't have to stick up for her. She can't hear you. Because Ross is just always, you know, I would say a bit of a brown noser and always just trying to relax Monica, even though they are clearly, you know, taking jabs at Monica. I mean, this episode was brutal with her mom, but I really do... I've mentioned this before, anytime that the Geller parents are in it, even as cringy and brutal as they are, I just find them really funny. Jack more than anything, the dad, but I really do enjoy the mom as well. This was... part of this was a bit hard to watch, but in a good way, in my opinion.
I will agree the Geller parents are really good. Both of them are very good. I do feel like the moments where we just get Judy and Monica are tough. And there's no Ross to balance it, and there's no Jack to balance it. It's just like mean.
Well, we had Phoebe there, luckily, because otherwise...
Yeah, but it's not the same. It doesn't like bounce the same. So anyway, we have this whole thing, and this is why in the synopsis I said she almost pulls a Monica, but ends up pulling a Monica because they changed the definition to what pulling a Monica is.
She doesn't know we switched it.
No, she doesn't. Because what is it? Monica loses a blue fingernail in one of the quiches, and therefore Judy breaks out all these frozen lasagnas because she knew Monica was gonna pull a Monica and mess up. Yeah. And of course, then Phoebe tries to rally Monica in a later scene, saying, "Well, listen, maybe we'll just change pulling a Monica to mean when you do something really great." And so someone will be like, "Oh, that fireman saved that kid from the burning building. He really pulled a Monica." Like, okay, Phoebe. Yeah. Fair enough. But we get this whole weird push-pull between, does Monica's mom truly trust her to be able to do something? And she thinks that she does, only to find out that she's prepared with frozen all lasagnas. This stuff just in case that she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough at the end when, you know, Monica does pull a Monica in a good way, as they've reframed it thanks to Phoebe. Phoebe is there for Monica in a really great way, I would say, in this episode too, you know, kind of reframing the situation for her. And but Monica somehow whips up these really good casseroles. We don't really see the details of that, nor do we need to, but either way, everyone loved it. And you know, Judy she can barely admit that she thinks that it's a success. I mean, it's pretty rough. It's but she does. She kind of says
she does.
She thinks
she
it's
does.
good,
she does admit because she says the next time that they'll be there, the only thing that'll be in the freezer is ice. Yeah. And that is a win for Monica. It's about as much of a win as you're ever going to get out of Judy by herself. But you know, then we have to like transition here to Joey. And Joey,
this is ridiculous.
My favorite part of this whole thing, and I forget, is this Penn or is this Teller? I always forget. Penn from Penn and Teller is selling encyclopedias door to door, as one does. And
you need these books.
Well, before we get there, he opens the door and it says, "Good morning. Are you the decision maker of the house?" And Joey's response is, can't even make the decision on if you're the decision maker, which is funny. And I think that is the best part of this whole thing. Yeah. But we continue. And he does need these books.
Yeah, I do like when Penn asks him about, you know, the encyclopedias, and Joey has this flashback because he's like, have you ever been just wondering what everyone else around you is talking about? And there's all these flashback moments, which were great because they weren't actually from episodes that we've seen. They were just these moments that Joey is recalling. I just thought that was really creative, that they wrote special moments just for this flashback.
So I was going to ask you about that because clearly they do flashbacks to the past. They show the prom video and they do other things back to their past. This was very unique. This was the only time that they did this, where it was like a Joey thinking back to times that he's experienced. And like you said, these are not experiences from other episodes that we're privy to.
Right.
These are just other snapshots of Joey and the friends being around, not understanding. It's a little out of place because we don't see these types of moments in the like we don't see these flashbacks regularly. You know what I mean? Like it's a different type of flashback.
I think it works.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah.
It absolutely works.
Yeah.
And that's when I say out of place, I guess I don't mean bad.
It doesn't happen often. Right.
Yeah. It's not a Friends like go to. They don't do this a lot in their episodes, but I think it made a lot of sense in the construct that we're working in.
When he comes out of this flashback and Penn is like, "Are you at all interested? I'm sorry, you haven't said anything for about 2.5 minutes." So it's like just trying to picture Joey just standing there staring off into nothingness for 2.5 minutes while he has this random salesman at his door is pretty great. I mean, and Joey's response to him after he's doing the hard sell and he's like, look around you. Like, I am sitting on lawn furniture and I have nothing in my apartment. You know, do you think that I have $50 for a book? Or no, it was like $2,000 for the set of books, right? It was something a lot. Insane. And I'm thinking for the late 90s too, this just seems absurd. Was that the real cost? I don't know.
I have no idea what the cost of a set of encyclopedias is because I have not bought any because it doesn't make sense to buy any anymore. But at the time, people did. I know we had some growing up.
The red ones, yes.
Yeah, Encyclopedia Britannica.
That's right. But these were
you just go to
Yeah.
Now you just go to Britannica.com. That's what all the students in my class do.
I know.
It's all there.
I know. And
anyway.
Yeah, well, these were more intense. I feel like the ones we had, I don't know if they were more condensed. They were smaller books.
They had to be more like kids editions.
Maybe. I think so. Because these were
because they definitely were not as
dictionaries.
Dense.
And either way, they're encyclopedias. And they were huge. There was a lot of information there, and Joey stuck with the letter V because, hey, I want to see where this bad boy goes.
Which is just telling because Joey's implying that it's a story and it's not a story.
Vivisection?
Well, that's the thing. Then he gets on the couch later and they're all sitting around Central Perk and he's just trying to bring up any topic that they can talk about that starts with the letter V, which is funny. And then, of course,
volcanic ash.
Monica is like, "Oh, did anybody see that documentary on the Korean War?" And he's just like, "Oh."
Needs to get the rest of those books. Hey, if that's all that, it almost seems like that's all that's standing in between Joey and being the smartest person in their group. So I think he really should invest that money.
Well, the only reason he even had $50 for the V is because he happened to be wearing Chandler's pants that day. Oh
my God. That was so funny.
To which I think, is that something that happens?
I know.
I mean, I didn't have a roommate for very long in my life. And I never wore the other person's pants.
No. Nope.
So yeah. I don't know.
Nope.
Weird episode though. Not my favorite. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll get to the ratings with. We'll
get to the ratings later.
I was gonna say I could get into that a little bit now, but we'll. I liked it. I did like it, but let's move on.
There were some real highs.
Yeah, season 4, episode 4, though. Well, let's get into talking about.
Yeah, we'll move on. So now we're going to jump into season 4, episode 4, and this is the one with the ballroom dancing. And in this one, Joey almost gets the girls evicted on accident. And as a favor to Treeger to try and sway him, he helps him learn how to ballroom dance for the Super Bowl. Phoebe ends up falling for a massage client and has to struggle with the oath that she set for herself. And Chandler just wants to quit the gym. And I say that all the time. And I have done so successfully because I could do it online.
Yes.
We talked about that, I think.
I was going to say, yeah.
Actually, I didn't do it online. I have to lie. I did not do it online. I sent Tina to do it, and she did it in person.
Oh,
because we couldn't do it online.
So that's why you felt like you did it online, which is what I was talking about. That's why this has come up, because I was mentioning how I had recently quit the gym, and I was able to just do it online with the YMCA, because, wow, it was extremely...
I tried to.
Yeah. They made that very easy. But
no, they did not make it easy for us. We had to go in person.
No, for me, I didn't.
Yeah, you lucked out.
I'm talking about my own experience.
Yeah,
so, but you had one.
We had to go.
Tina.
Well, in all honesty, we were just dropping it down from a family plan to an individual plan because Tina uses the gym regularly.
Wow, and they made you go in for that too?
I know.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I do like how all of that evolves into, then they open up a joint bank account.
Yes.
Because that makes more sense than actually having to quit the gym. They decide that they want to cancel their bank account instead.
So we've talked about this in many episodes prior, but there is a cut scene from this that is very critical. I feel like I don't understand why they cut this scene.
Okay. Which scene? I can't remember.
So here's what happens. They have Chandler and Ross. Ross goes in as moral support to quit the gym, right?
Yes.
And they have Chandler explain that he wants to quit the gym. And so the idea is, well, you've got to come back into this area and discuss this with our guy. And then, of course, the guy gives the pitch to Ross because he can't go back there because he's not a member.
Right.
Hey, do you want to join the gym? He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he brings over this lady who is wearing some crazy spandex.
Insane leotard. Like the most ridiculous 80s hair and leotard I've ever seen. And I'm thinking, really? Is this?
Pretty sure this is not mid-90s look. But whatever.
And I don't know, the idea of that lady being the attraction that drives Ross into having
I just thought the same thing.
I just don't buy it. She's ridiculous.
I thought to myself, what are we talking about here? But either way, Ross is enamored with this woman who shows up.
Yes.
And then this is where they cut this scene out. But there is a scene where then they switch to Chandler in the office. And Chandler is in the office talking about wanting to quit the gym and discussing this. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, no problem. We'll make that happen, blah, blah, blah. And they start talking about how to quit the gym. And then somebody comes in and whispers to the manager. And he goes, oh, but if you quit the gym, aren't you going to leave your friend behind? And they pull this curtain and Ross is on the other side, mad pedaling on a bike that the girl is standing next to him making him do because he's now joined the gym because he's working out real hard.
Personal trainer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because then when they come back to the coffee shop, they now have both joined the gym. And I'm like, well, you needed that scene to help transition this. Otherwise, how do you know Ross has joined the gym?
I guess the assumption is just that, Ross wasn't there to be Chandler's moral support anymore, so he just wasn't able to follow through with actually quitting. But yeah, it's I love that we could go, we could close our bank accounts. That would be easier. Cut them off at the source.
Yes, I do like that idea.
And then Joey says, oh, but then we won't be bank buddies.
Now there's another reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. And then at the end, I want to quit the bank.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to withdraw all the money from the bank and keep it in a bag and shove it under our mattress and call it a day. Yeah. It's a tough spot, but it is probably the smallest storyline in this episode. Yeah. The Super Bowl, where Joey is learning to dance with Treeger, is definitely
Oh,
an interesting situation.
yeah.
Rachel basically goes out to the trash chute after Treeger's been cleaning it out, and she tries to jam a pizza box down it and clearly just jams it up right in front of his face. And so he yells at her, and she cries and goes back to the apartment, and then Joey goes to rectify the situation because he made Rachel cry, and Treeger knows about the Rent Stabilization Act of 1963, in which Monica is illegally subletting the apartment from her grandmother, and so they're going to be evicted, and that becomes an issue. So Joey has to go make right. He goes to Treeger, and of course, the only thing that can save the day is that if Joey helps Treeger learn how to ballroom dance. This is a long walk to get to Joey and Treeger dancing together.
Yeah, and I love how Joey, who clearly doesn't know anything about dancing, is somehow
that is proven.
Right.
we have evidence
from a
of
very
this.
recent episode, where it's so this whole thing is absurd. I mean, how we get to this point too. I mean, it's funny, but it's craziness, and him dancing with Treeger for the superintendent's ball. I mean, come on. Let's really, it's just wild.
I mean, so I steered clear of the word teaching in the synopsis because Joey's not going to teach Treeger how to dance.
Yeah.
He's just operating as the dance partner because Treeger has no one else to dance with and doesn't want to dance with girls.
And then one of the only scenes where you see them dancing, though, Treeger kind of like spins Joey off against, into the wall. And he even says, oh, I don't, I'm a lost cause. I don't know how to dance. So I'm like, how are they getting anywhere? If he doesn't know how to dance and Joey doesn't know how to dance, what are they doing? Who's teaching who?
Figuring it out together somehow.
I guess. Well, they figured it out. And I gotta say, though, Eric, I found some of this, like, the language around Joey dancing with Treeger, though, with Monica and Rachel was so cringy and hard to watch. I'm just like, this is definitely not a scene that would have been shot today. And I'm sure that even they look back on some of this and it's like, oh, like, when Joey comes back in, and she's asking him, so how did the dancing go? Gay yet? I'm like, oh, Monica, yikes. Like, I mean, it was just not something that you would hear today, and it just did not land. It is not aging well at all. And even Rach says something to him about being like twinkle toes, and it was, like the idea that he was helping out his friend with dancing. Yeah, it was too much for them. This is what there are moments where I know Friends gets like a hard time from, the public now, and a lot of it is there's definitely for some good reason there. I'm like, all right,
understood. This is, I guess, my statement to that, and part of this stems from my profession, and some of it is, just kind of how this goes. You have to take the language that's used around some of this and understand that it is essentially a time capsule. Like the jokes made at this point in time are reminiscent of a different time period. We are now 30 years in the future. And those jokes would hit, they would not even be done today. But
it just felt
they were
actually crueler than Monica's character would have been. That's also how I felt like, does Monica, that didn't really seem like something that her character would have said, though. So that's where, I don't know.
But I think
it was more lighthearted at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think that was as taboo to say. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not necessarily. I mean,
or maybe we just weren't as socially as aware of maybe how hurtful it would have been at the time, right? So it's like we've come a long way. I think, like, including something like that. Yeah.
So when it comes to like the like idea of, are you gay yet? Right? Mm-hmm. Because he's now been dancing with a guy. I had an ad that I vividly remembered all of a sudden come across my Instagram recently.
Yeah.
Where it was a smoking ad.
Okay.
And it was out of the mid-90s. And then they did like this news report on all these kids that were like, yeah, I'm not smoking. Because it showed basically these two boys in a high school hallway hanging out outside the bathroom. And then they're talking to each other and like looking around, and then they both kind of duck into the bathroom. And then the tagline is like, are they smoking or gay? Oh. Or it's gay to smoke or something like that.
What?
Which is an insane statement.
Ad? Wow.
And it was an actual ad that ran.
Oh.
And there's all these kids then afterwards that are like, well, I don't want to smoke. I don't want people thinking I'm gay.
Wow.
And it was like this whole thing that was just, again, like, hey, this is the time capsule for what happened. So
yeah,
for Monica to make a joke like that, right, I don't think is wild for the time.
Yeah.
It's wild today.
Well, you know what, though? I guess it's that, to me, even for the show, it stands out. I think that's also why.
It does.
Because it's not like, this is like this.
They don't make a lot of those. They don't make a lot of those jokes.
There's more innuendo, I would say, that's against with like Chandler and stuff, as you've pointed out, where it's like, okay, like that I feel like also that
got a quality.
Land quite the same now. Yeah, there's certain jokes where it's like, all right, I don't know. But,
well, listen, if the show was made today, one of the friends would be gay.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it would go.
The whole basis of the show, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that would be different. And so certain things, right.
I mean, they also all wouldn't be white.
That's true. That's exactly.
Like, there are a number of different things that would adjust if we were going to create this show today.
Yeah.
That's just a time capsule of the period. Yeah. And so you have to understand that those things, they might be cringy. I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah.
But it's just a look at a different point in history is what it is.
But Eric, I have to say, like, the cringiest parts of this episode, though, were this whole section with Phoebe and this guy that she is massaging.
Yeah.
She bites him. What?
She bit him.
Phoebe.
That is the choice that she went with. Phoebe. She chose to bite him.
This is even weird for Phoebe. I just don't like this storyline at all. You know, she's having to think about baseball as she's massaging him, so she's not like getting too into it. I'm like, really?
She ends up massaging him for like 3 hours.
Oh, this is bad. This is just so bad. And then she ends up finding out that he's married because her boss walks in on her when she's making out with this guy. And she's saying his wife has been calling. It's like, and which she immediately then is like, okay, no, like this isn't happening. But
okay, well, this is done now.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I felt like this even felt very out of character for her. I do like the end, you know, where you find out that she's been fired, and she just says, well, then I was just walking around offering to give random massages to people, and then the police thought I was a whore too. Because she says she was fired for being a whore. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And I do like the very end too, where she goes in for like an interview, and the woman's like, "Okay, well, what happened at your last job?" And they're like, "Oh, they fired me because they thought I was a hooker."
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh, well, thanks for stopping by."
Yes.
And she's like, "Okay."
Phoebe. Oh my god.
It's like, okay, maybe we're gonna fine tune our interviewing skills. But yeah, it's a weird episode for sure. And with that, let's jump into our IMDb rankings for the episode. And we have two definitely different types of episodes that are sitting on our plate here. But before we get to our rankings, where we're going to figure out how highly we rank them on a score of 1 to 10, where 8.9 is the Friends average according to IMDb. Do you have your favorite and least favorite characters of this episode?
Well, I do. Eric, I'm curious because I went first the last time. Who is your favorite or least favorite character?
Okay.
Kick things off here. Yeah.
So I'm still torn between a couple here, but I think I'm going to end up going with, is it Phoebe? I think Phoebe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Phoebe here as my least favorite character. I really don't like this storyline with the massage client.
Yeah.
It's just not very good. And then, she's all right though in the first one. She's the one that saves Monica.
She gave Monica, the good advice. That's why I was close there.
Okay,
as well.
I'm gonna change my mind. I'm changing my mind as we go, and I'm now gonna say, that my least favorite is Joey. Because as much as I like the scene, or at least I can tolerate the scene with Joey trying to buy the encyclopedias, like, it's not great.
Yeah.
And then his whole thing dancing with Treeger, it's not great.
Awkward.
So I'm just
weird.
Not a big fan of either of those storylines. I do think the Phoebe with the massage client is worse than both of those.
Oh, me too.
But her helping Monica in the first one is better than either of the things that Joey did. So I guess I'm going with Joey.
I'm following exactly with your wave of thinking there. But
sorry, I had to walk through it all. Like, I was torn.
I agree. No, I think that makes total sense. And I was very close to landing in the same spot. But I ended up going with Rachel just because I felt like she actually wasn't really highlighted in these episodes too much at all. So I felt like she was just really not present.
Okay. So I'm really glad you said that, because I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the one with the cuffs. But I alluded to this earlier in our last podcast. This episode, tell me what Ross does.
I mean, he
he's
other
absent.
than being there right in the first section where Monica is saying to him, you don't have to stick up for her. She can't hear you about their mom.
Right.
Otherwise,
and he is
Ross
on the couch when they're talking about the Korean War. But he has no story connected at all in that episode. No. And that might be why I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I just am not as big a fan of that episode because Ross is absent. And as you're saying, Rachel is also largely absent in these episodes. These are carried by the other four of them.
Although Rachel, to that point, I mean, Rachel is at least in those office scenes with Chandler, which is really funny. But Chandler really drove those scenes to me, in my opinion. So, and that's kind of what led me to my favorite character, which I know you like to pick, but I picked Chandler for these just because
I'm also picking Chandler. I'm not even gonna hide this. Like,
listen, these weren't the strongest episodes, I would say, for Friends at all. But Chandler's scenes were really great, where he's in the handcuffs and he's trying to get out and kind of running around the office. That was really funny.
The Chandler handcuffed to the filing cabinet is the funniest thing that happens in these two episodes, and it's by a lot. And then him trying to get out of going to the gym is a very relatable, funny thing. And again, Ross and Rachel are largely not present in these episodes, and Monica. I want to pick Monica at some point. I feel like I never pick Monica for any of these things. She always seems to fall in the middle. But the story with her and the Quiches is like brutal.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like
in the next episode, all she is sitting around the apartment because she's reacting off Joey dancing. And we spent some time talking about how good or not good that was.
Yeah, that actually, right. And to that point, I feel like Monica's character really takes off in the second part of this series. Like, I think we get so much more great moments from Monica, you know,
I think through
her relationship with Chandler too, like them interacting off of each other. It's so funny. And I just feel like we just get to know her a lot more in that part of the series.
So I think in seasons 1 and 2, she was kind of like a central figure. She was a key point with her and Richard, and she was dating a few more people, and everyone was at her apartment. So it kind of felt like she was the central piece to the whole thing. And then throughout season 3, she was really more of an afterthought in most of the storylines. I know we then got to her and Pete, but most of it was kind of still like second fiddle.
Yeah.
Like there were other things happening. And I'm still waiting for that moment for her to like come back to being the top of the episode, but it hasn't been yet, and it's not in these two.
I could be mistaken on this, but I feel like where her character really takes off starts with, I don't know the official name, but it's the one with the quiz game episode.
Well, that is a good episode.
I feel like for that one for her is hilarious, and then going forward in the series, I just feel like that's really where Monica shines. But we'll have to see if it happens before then, or if my memory is
okay.
Because that's in season 5.
I would like to point out something about that episode now.
I think
that I have never thought about until today.
Okay.
We just saw the apartment get emptied out. Right? They stole everything.
Yeah.
Yet somehow, the ceramic dog is back in the apartment. Because they ride in on that bad boy.
So, and the ceramic dog was nowhere to be seen when Chandler...
It was in the apartment.
Came back home? It wasn't there?
No, there's nothing there.
Well,
unless it was in a bedroom,
the argument could be made that it was made in a bed. Exactly.
I'm just saying.
That's what I was
or maybe
say.
It was so bad that they didn't want to steal it.
Well, or just too heavy. How are they getting that thing out of there? I don't know.
They got the Barca loungers out.
Yeah. They
I'm
just
just saying.
might not have wanted it.
There's arguments to be made there, but they stole everything, and all of a sudden, that dog is back, and he's back at the very end of the series too.
Well, they also didn't take whatever was in the back of Chandler's closet. So.
Well, that's also true. Anyway, okay, so we're both going Chandler here. It's kind of Chandler by default. He's got some funny moments, but nobody else really shines here, which I think is leading us to some very interesting ratings.
So yeah, what are your ratings, Eric?
Okay.
Well, what's one of your ratings? Which one did you like better?
So I would like for reference to show that the last episode we did before this one was the one with the cat, which I gave a 7.82 because I thought things were kind of not great. And it was a 7.9 overall. You gave some crazy rating for that, 8.7. I don't know what you were thinking. But my favorite of these two is going to be the one with the cuffs. Again, it is only because of that scene with Chandler.
Yeah, for sure.
It is only because of the office scene where he's locked up. And so I will give that one also a 7.8.
Okay.
Which is equal to the one with the cat. The one with the ballroom dancing, I again have like scribbled out and rewritten my answer a few times.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm going to give it a 7.5 and make it the lowest rated episode to date. Do I think it's worse than the one with fake Monica? I don't know. But there's not a whole lot I like from this one. And I could see this being pretty low on the scorecard.
Yeah, I agree. So I rated the one with the cuffs as higher. I gave that one an 8.1, which
I had it as an 8 at one point, but I knocked it down.
Yeah, I do. I really like that one. I feel like the scene with Chandler being handcuffed in the office has become kind of a classic scene in my mind where he's stuck there and then Rachel has to help him out. But yeah, the rest of it isn't great. I like, any time that we kind of see more about Monica with her parents, I do really enjoy that, but still not one of the top in my mind overall. So 8.1. The one with the ballroom dancing, I did decide I like it slightly more. I remembered the 7.6 was the one with the fake Monica,
Yep.
so I gave this one a 7.7. Just because it's like
I'm
the quitting the
torn
gym
on this.
part. But you're right, though, Eric. I could be right there with you. 7.5, I really don't have a strong argument against why either.
The one with fake Monica is easily bad. That's bad.
But
The other one that they put down there at 7.6 is ridiculous, and I forget which one it was. It was something that I really liked. I liked it a lot more than that.
Oh, we both liked it. Yeah, I can't remember off the top, but yeah. But this
like,
whole thing with
I'm
Phoebe
gonna put-
biting the guy, I hate that.
Yes,
So
and the ballroom
stupid.
dancing. I'm gonna
So
put
bad.
this. I mean, I think it's gonna go lower. Well, I'm
Let's
gonna
see, let's
say
see. Yeah.
I'm putting it lower because I don't think there are any good moments in this,
Yeah.
short of Chandler wanting to quit the gym, and that is barely good at best.
Yeah, it's.
And I don't think we get a lot of episodes where all 6 of them are doing something that I'm not interested in.
You're right. I'm thinking. I'm gonna meet with you. I'm doing 7.5. I'm dropping mine.
Ooh,
I'm dropping it.
all right. 7.5. Changed
yeah.
swung
All right,
your
so-
vote right at the end there. Let's see.
So what is it?
Okay. So scores are in. The one with the cuffs is better. It is the better one. It is an 8.4, which
Oh,
is significantly higher than I
Okay.
would have thought.
I actually
I
started
had at one
closer to
point an
there.
8.
I worked
Yeah,
my
well, you
way
did.
down.
I had it as an 8, and I started talking myself out of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
8.4 though for that one, and then
Okay.
the ballroom dancing gets an 8,
Wow.
which I'm shocked at.
Okay.
And I need to go back in time because where was the other 7.6? It was something I've already forgot. Oh, there it is. The one with Phoebe's ex-partner.
Oh,
Yeah.
the ice dancer.
No. Because look at the cover image though it's the one where Chandler is dating the girl with one leg, and they get the whole scene with the
That one
fight,
is
like him throwing
totally
like
funnier. Yeah.
that was way funnier than anything that happened in this episode.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. The people are
That-
mistaken. Yeah.
The people are wrong. The people are well. Listen,
We
maybe
want to hear
not.
from you.
Let me stand corrected. This 8 might be okay,
Yeah.
but that 7.6 is outrageous.
Not right. Yeah. True. Right. Agreed.
Because this might be an 8. I could get behind that. But that other one is not a 7.6. I will not have that. Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. And again, we are so appreciative of all the support that we are getting on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And if you could just find your time to click like on one of those videos or drop a comment or repost it on your own feed, we would really appreciate it. Again, you can check out our website at werunonreruns.com. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching episodes 5 and 6 this week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you, pal. Bye, guys.